Going on, everybody? Happy Monday, sort of. Uh, we know what we're going to talk about, as we do every Monday when I do my recap. The team on the Lake Shore known as the Cleveland Browns. I'm at a loss for what happened last night. Yesterday, the Browns lost to the winless Cincinnati Bengals, led by dumbass Marvin Lewis, 31-7. And last week I said the score doesn't do us justice. This week it does. We got our asses handed to us on a silver platter. And I just don't know. Like, look, it's not a talent problem like it was last year. Last year we had nobody other than Joe Thomas, Joe Hayden, and Joel Batonio, but then he ended up getting hurt. We don't really have any. We didn't have anybody last year. And again, there were some games that we should have won easily, but that didn't happen. We went 1-15. That shit happens. But the way that we've been playing, since we have regressed so much since the game against Pittsburgh, we almost beat Pittsburgh, and we should have won them if our special teams coach wasn't so terrible. If we would have beaten I don't know. If we would have beaten Pittsburgh week 1 and lost every single game the rest of the year, I wouldn't have cared. That would have been fine by me. That would have been like the Super Bowl for us. But we didn't. And then week 2 we go to Baltimore and we get our asses kicked. I think maybe that's just Kaiser's first really bad game. Indianapolis, the offense can't get moving for shit. The defense doesn't wake up till the second half. We end up losing there by 3 points. Like I said, the score didn't do its justice because we were getting our asses handed to us a majority of the game. We haven't had a single lead yet, and we are now entering week 5. This is not where we should be at all. And I think a lot of people know that, except for Hugh Jackson, of course. I'll get into that in a minute. I'll get into Kenny Britt, or as I've been calling him now. Shout out to Mike Polk for this, for calling him this to get this ball rolling. Kenny shit. So just who knows? Let's see where to begin. How about we started out on offense, went 3 and out right away. Isaiah Crowell still can't run. He ran right into J.C. Treader after he gave him a wide open hole. I mean, this guy's vision went from looking like, hey, this dude is showing some flashes of Ezekiel Elliott to Trent Richardson within a year. And what the hell makes you think that he's going to get well, he probably will because Hugh Jackson likes him. So we're going to end up giving him a huge deal for him to run into J.C. Treader, where Duke Johnson is the one who's actually, contributing to this offense, this so-called offense that we have. Isaiah Crowell, awful again. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want you here. I want Saquon Barkley next year if we can manage to get that, or just use Duke Johnson and Matthew Days. The receiving core was horrible as ever. Seth DeValve, a guy who I've liked since last year, he drops him way too much. David Njoku couldn't get open. I think he had like 2 catches or something like that in one game. Kenny Britt, Kenny Shit, as I will call you now, Mr. Shit, decided to make 2 really good plays. He made 1 really good catch, and he ended up getting, I think it was like 10 extra yards or something like that. And then I think the next play he even caught it. He caught another one, and then he had a wide open catch. Would have been first and goal for us. We would have converted on second down, I believe. And right there, perfectly placed ball by DeShone Kizer. This is why I will defend DeShone Kizer. This is why I will defend this guy until he can get some real receivers. Because he has none whatsoever. It's like he's throwing just to empty field to an empty field, hoping that maybe somebody will catch it. And a lot of times, unfortunately, those people have been on the opposing team. Um, yeah. So Kenny Shit decided to get a wide open pass and have it bounce off of his chest into a defender. It was a perfect throw too. It was a throw that made Kaiser look like a veteran, and Kenny Shit decided to botch that up. And that just killed our momentum completely right there. Because we'd already missed a field goal by Zane Gonzalez, the greatest kicker of all time. That's clearly not working out for us. Uh, let's see. Manuel Ogba had a great game. He had a sack and then he had a strip, which the ball was then recovered. And then he just kind of was a no-show from there because I think they just started double teaming him because that's all you got to do. Let's see. Oh, jeez. I'm trying to think what else. But there were so many things that weren't just the defense. The defense. Now I'm going to get into the defense. That defense is atrocious. Okay. Now for a guy like Greg Williams, who comes, this guy has a Super Bowl on his resume. The guy made the Rams defense last year look decent. Okay. I don't understand why we can't do shit. I get, you don't have Myles Garrett, you didn't have Danny Shelton. But Danny Shelton shouldn't have really been a problem because you got two playmakers in Larry Ogunjobi and Trevon Cooley. Myles Garrett, I get being out because you can't use Ogba too much because he'll just get double teamed. Carl Nassib can't provide pressure. He's not. I like him as a backup defensive end, but he's not starter material as he's clearly shown that the last 4 games, which we have all lost. But Myles Garrett's coming back next week. I will be at that game. I didn't go to the game this week, like I said I would. But because I had some problems getting tickets and everything. And I'm actually glad I didn't go because I got to stay home and watch my team shit themselves on a field without having to pay money. So maybe it'll be more competitive against the Jets, but I highly doubt it. But tickets are $13 to see Myles Garrett, and I think it's worth it. The defense, yes. The secondary just remains god-awful. Jamar Taylor can't cover for shit. I don't know where Brian Body Calhoun was. Maybe it was like I said this last week. I didn't know where he was, and Pro Football Focus ended up coming out with something that said that he was. I guess he wasn't even targeted, which I'd like to think that means that he had incredible coverage. Let's see what else. Jamar Taylor, is absolutely ass. What else? Jabril Peppers is looking like a bust already. And I say that because Jamal Adams and Malik Hooker, a guy who Hugh Jackson and I really wanted because he went to, not because he went to Ohio State, but because he was really good. Okay. Malik Hooker is tearing it up in Indianapolis, of all places. Under Chuck Pagano's dumbass defense, he is tearing it up. He's got 3 interceptions already, one of them which came from Kaiser. And he had another one last night. Okay. It's the amount, and I get that we weren't going to get Jamal Adams either because he wouldn't have fallen to number 12 anyway. And we took Myles Garrett because Myles Garrett was the best player in the draft, or so it seemed. But I don't know. We don't really know yet. I think I'm just angry right now. But God. Let's see. So yeah, Jabril Peppers got burned by AJ Green. But when you have a dumbass like Greg Williams playing him so deep, it's going to fuck his development up. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, well, Greg Williams has always played his safeties deep. Bitch, this guy's a first-round pick. You should be getting him more involved. And that also falls on Hugh Jackson. Okay, Hugh Jackson's too busy calling the plays like he's an offensive coordinator. We don't have a real coach. If you think about it, we need to get an offensive coordinator, but his ego's too fucking big. If Hugh Jackson were a head coach, okay, he would end up. If Hugh Jackson were a real head coach, he would go up to Greg Williams on the side. He'd be like, Greg, what in the fuck are you doing playing Jabril Peppers back so deep? I'm the head coach. I want you to bring him in more because we're allowing too many yards with him being back that much. It's not that hard. It's not that hard, Hugh. Grow some fucking balls. Grow a pair of two testicles. That's all you need to grow. And go up to Greg Williams and tell him, quit playing Jabril Peppers back so fucking deep. Okay? It's not that hard. Okay, and I'm sure Greg Williams would be open to it. Maybe then he'd fucking wake up and be like, oh yeah, you know what? It hasn't been working for the past 3 fucking weeks. Maybe it'll be a good idea to bring him in. I mean, my God. And Greg Williams, I can't believe we fell for your bullshit. Dude, all you do is blitz on third and long. Hey, all you do is blitz, period. You send the full house the linebackers. And what's the problem with that is that you don't have a defensive line with a Myles Garrett who can get to the quarterback in time. When you're blitzing, all they have to do is neutralize the linebackers. Then you leave the middle of the field wide open, mainly because Jabril Peppers is back returning a punt. Look, I don't even know defense. I am an offensive guy. Okay, if I ever were to become a head coach, I would be like Sean McVay. I'd be working on offense strictly, and I'd tell my defensive coordinator, do your shit on defense. If I don't like what I see, I'll chime in a little bit, but I'll let you handle the defense. Like what's going on, and it's working because the Rams are 3-1. But even I know that Greg Williams shouldn't be blitzing on every single fucking play and having Jabril Peppers back that deep, or maybe putting Jamar Taylor on every single one receiver when you don't even have real corners other than Breon Body Calhoun. It's not that hard, people. It's really not that hard. And I know Howard Wilson, a guy who we drafted from Houston, got hurt in training camp, or he got hurt working out, something like that. And he should be back. I heard he could be back, by week 8 or week 9. That'd be great. That'd help us out a lot because I think the guy's going to be a beast. But in the meantime, we have no secondary other than Kindred and Peppers and Breon Body Calhoun. We need a better corner. We need a better everything so far. So, these 3 games, the Bengals, Jets, and the Colts, Bengals, and Jets were supposed to be 3 very winnable games, where we could have at least split or anything like that. And it's looking like we're going to drop all 3 of them because the Jets look good. You know why? Because they got a real coach. And everybody's like, at some point we're going to start blaming the coach, and I think that's become evident. That's become evident that Hugh Jackson can't play call for shit. And look, here's how his offense is so predictable. Okay, so every time it's first down, run with Isaiah Crowell. He'll just run into his offensive lineman. That's like 1 or 2 yards gain. Next one. It's always a deep pass, okay, and it's usually to Kenny Britt or somebody who ends up not running their routes, and then on third down he'll just check it down to Seth DeValve or David Njoku, like that's going to get positive yards, and everybody was there. Spiro Ditas was announcing the game. He's one I can't stand the guy. I think he's an awful announcer. I think he mumbles too much and whatnot. But he was saying that after Kenny Britt had dropped 2 passes and miscommunicated on his routes, people started booing, and they had every right to boo Kenny Britt. And I watched Kenny Britt's little interview that he did, and it'll just make me even madder. So that's why I'm going to read it to you. Well, at least say what I heard. Spiro Ditas kept saying, "Oh, the Boo Birds are out again. Long struggling franchise here." No shit, buddy. You're probably a Giants fan, and I know they're 0-4, but they've had a lot of success in the NFL in the Super Bowl era. We have, but then it got taken away by Art Modell. That's another guy. Screw you. This is not my Browns team, as it says in the title. Browns Bengals Week 4 recap, in parentheses, not my Browns. This is not the Browns that I've seen. I went back and, yeah, I grew up with this Browns team, the expansion Browns. I go back and I look at, like I watched 80s highlights from the Browns with Bernie Kosar and, Kevin Mack and Ernest Biner, Herman Fontenot. I can Clay Matthews. I think he was part of that team. Correct me if I'm wrong though. Let's see, Reggie Langhorne, Webster Slaughter, Ozzie Newsome, all those guys. Those good. Hardy Schottenheimer as a coach. Yeah, I know he was too conservative. Eric Metcalf. All these good players. I get the fact that I can even name some players off of that roster. It shows how much I look back and I love that team. And the reason that I love Bernie Kosar so much is because he's the last I feel cheated that I got robbed of seeing it. I was born in 1999, and I was born the same year that the Browns came back. I'm older than the expansion Browns, and it's just it pains me to see this shit. And what's going on in Baltimore is what we should have. We should have two Super Bowls. We should have Ozzie Newsome as our general manager, and Art Modell would not be, or any part of the Modell family would not be the owner anymore. I don't think it would be Steve Biscotti or Bisciotti. I don't know what his name is. Uh, he probably wouldn't own the team, but somebody else, somebody who actually gave a shit would. Unlike Randy Lerner or Jimmy Haslam, it's looking like he just still doesn't care. So, we don't have a real football team anymore. We are a football town. Well, we were a football town. Okay, our lives revolved around the Browns, and I don't think that's happening because you just. I think if anything, we're becoming a basketball town or a baseball town. Anything, anything other than a football town, and it pains me because football is my favorite sport. It's my favorite sport to watch, not to play because I'm terrified of head injuries, but it's my favorite sport, and I feel we are getting cheated out of it so badly, and it pains me. It does. It fucking pains me. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. And Hugh Jackson just goes up on that fucking podium each week after we got our asses handed to us by a team that's clearly better than us. Well, I got to watch the game film. We're gonna work hard and we're gonna get better. Bitch, why don't you actually try? Try getting better. I just don't know. I don't know. If Peppers really is that bad, if he can't be fixed, then we browsed all over the place. Okay, we picked Jabril Peppers over T.J. fucking Watt. We picked a guy who had one interception in college over a Watt. Unbelievable, man. Unfucking believable. I don't know if TJ Watt is playing like garbage or anything, but he sure as hell looked a lot better than his brother against us. Then again, we made Dick Croft look like Tony Gonzalez. I don't know, man. And the Perfect Season Parade is back on from reflog_18 on Twitter. So that's always fun. So because we'll probably have one. This time we'll actually go 0-16. I don't know. I am if we can't do shit with this front office, I am done. I am done. I am jumping ship to the Packers. I am jumping ship. You can hate on me for all you could say. Oh, well, you should just abandon your team. I've been watching football for 13 years. I've never seen a team this bad or this incompetent. Okay, at least the Browns that I grew up with, they would at least get 5 wins. Okay, and those seem like a distant memory. Okay, I would kill to go 5-11. Okay, we haven't gone 5-11 since I want to say 2012. And ever since we changed our uniforms to this dumbass to this dumbass scheme, we've had 4 total wins. I'd change the uniforms right now. I'd NFL to let me change the uniforms. You know, I know that has nothing to do with the performance on the field, but I kind of think it does. When you don't fuck with tradition like that, and Jimmy Haslam did. So and Browns fans, they all left in the third quarter, and I don't blame them. I think I would have too. That was just a shit show yesterday, and I don't know. All right, well, my last thing that I want to talk about with this is I listened to a podcast on iTunes called Orange is Oranger. It's about the Browns. It's run by I forgot the other guy's name. But one is by a Twitter user named Jeremy in Akron, and he was talking about how we have been so bad for so long that we are about to lose a generation of Browns fans because they don't want to see this shit. They want to watch guys like Odell Beckham, and they want to watch the Steelers. They want to watch the Packers. They want to watch the Cowboys. They want to watch the good teams and the teams with the flashy players. We have none of that. We are not good. We don't have a flashy player, and we just fucking suck. Okay, we have lost that generation of Browns fans that I don't think we can get back. Okay, we we have lost them. We have lost a generation of Browns fans. And it's all because of Randy Lerner. And I really, if Al Lerner wouldn't have dropped dead during the 2003 season, I think we would have at least went to an AFC Championship game because he actually gave a shit. Then his son Randy ends up getting the team, and he's more interested in ruining Aston Villa, which is a soccer team over in Europe. Fuck you, Randy Lerner. Fuck you. And then Jimmy Haslam comes along. He's from the Steelers. That's a little suspicious, don't you think? But yeah, he's got money. The dude's an oil tycoon. Like, oh, this guy knows how to win because I guess Art Rooney or Dan Rooney taught him how to fucking win. He had a small share in the Steelers. Okay, bring it on, buddy. Okay, Rob Chizitsky, not my first choice, but we'll see where it goes. Brian Hoyer comes off of the bench and actually plays really good. Wow. Let's go. Sticking with this guy. Oh, he tears his ACL against Buffalo. And then Brandon Weeden comes in. Oh, God. Guess whose defense Brandon Weeden beat? Mike Pettin. So, meaning that Jimmy Haslam hired the one guy who Brandon Weeden could beat. Uh, and, so then we fight after the 2013 season. I think we went 5-11 that year. I think we did go 5-11 that year. So we fire Rob Chizitsky, and I was pissed because I thought Rob Chizitsky was a great coach. Then we hire Mike Pettin and go 7-4. Maybe we actually did get our coach. He's a defensive guy. The defense looked pretty good. We missed the playoffs. Or no, did I say 7-4? No, 7-9. We started out 7-4 and then finished 7-9 because he fucking collapsed. But I thought, hey, this is a young team, rookie mistakes sometimes. We still had Johnny Manziel for some fucking reason. And then the next year, we didn't have Brian Hoyer. We signed Josh McCown. And then we have Johnny Manziel come in, and we go 3-13, and Mike Pettin gets fired. Then we blow up the team, and let's see. Yeah, we blow up the team. We hire Hugh Jackson, We go 1-15. We draft Myles Garrett. We draft Jabril Peppers. We draft David Njoku. We draft Deshaun Kaiser. We draft Larry Ogunjobi. We draft Howard Wilson. We draft I don't know who else. That's all I really know so far. We draft some pretty good players. We signed Kevin Zeitler. We signed J.C. Treader. We signed Kenny Shit. I'm not going to get into that again. Um, we signed a veteran in Jason McCourty to help out our young guys in the secondary. And right now we are 0-4, and I guarantee you we go 0-5 on Sunday. We are fucked as a franchise. I wouldn't be surprised if this team folds, or just moves to Memphis, like Jimmy Haslam probably wanted to do, and I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with it. I'll become a Bills fan. They're close, or a Packers fan, or no, I'm not going to become a Colts fan, or a Lions fan. Why did I say that? But the Bills are quote unquote tanking, and they're I think 3-1 right now, and because they have a real coach with a real offense, so we deserve better. We really do, and I think that's it. Oh, and another thing that Kenny Britt was talking about when he, oh shit, I never got into that. But anyway, Kenny Britt said that they asked him, "Did the booze affect you?" And he said no. So fuck you. And he also mentioned, I don't know if this is when he was with the Titans or with the Rams, but he said 1 year he was with the team and they started out 0-6, and then they ended up winning. They ended up winning a lot of their games, and I think they went 8-8 and missed the playoffs by a game. But there was probably a team that had their shit together. So yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm trying so hard to remain optimistic, but that window is really closing. We I don't know. I don't know. I don't have anything to say. I really don't. At least the Indians are in the playoffs and the Cavs have a really good roster. That's all that matters at this point, really. So, yeah, I think I'm done here. I think I'm done. With this video, at least. I will recap the game next week. And hopefully I will recap the series, the Cleveland Indians series, really well. Yeah, I think I'm done. Pretty depressing video, if you ask me. But just get Kaiser some fucking receivers. I want Calvin Ridley, Simmy Cobbs. I think Emmanuel St. Brown is how you say his name. I'm not sure. You get him those three guys in the draft. If you have 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks, you get him those 2 guys. Kaiser will be able to throw touchdown passes for days. You get a real running back too, and some corners. It's not that hard, really. It really is not that hard. You know, they're making me look like I could be a GM. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to shout out fellow YouTuber F95523. He's doing his social media hiatus, which he does whenever a Cleveland team is in the playoffs. He did it 2015 when the Cavs lost in 6 games to the Golden State Warriors, and he did it in 2016 twice, actually. He did it when the Cavs won the championship, and that's when I started believing in his ideology. Then he did it for the Indians in 2016, and I thought, he'll be back by the end of the ALDS. We ended up going to the World Series. He did it again in 2017 for the Cavs, which the outcome wasn't good, but I admire him for trying. So maybe this year it'll work for the Indians. The reason I'm giving him a shout out for that is because I could never fucking do that. I am addicted to Twitter and Instagram and all that shit. I'll admit I'm addicted to it. And I'm not like constantly doing it, but like if I'm not able to access it for like more than 6 hours, I'll be a little I get a little meh in the head, you know. So yeah, shout out to him. So and you can check out his channel. I guess it's gonna be dead for about a month, hopefully a month if we don't get our shit kicked in by the Yankees or the Twins. Uh, but yeah, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe on this video. Follow me on Twitter at @a_back of55. The link to my Twitter will be in the description below. If you're a Browns fan, my condolences. We know your pain, and I hope it'll get better. So, peace out, everybody, and go Tribe. I'll do a recap video if we win the series against either the Twins or the Yankees. So go Tribe.